Welcome to Sunderland RCA TV, your direct line inside the Sunderland LGV Park. You're watching RCA TV News on Monday the 24th of July. If you've not yet subscribed, make sure that you do by clicking the link underneath this video and also clicking the bell icon so that you get informed whenever we bring out new content on this channel. Coming up today, we've got a look back at last weekend's games for both the first team and the reserves. Confirmation of the kickoff time for our final pre-season fixture of the season. But first, as ever, and apologies it's a day late, our weekend roundup of all the region's non-league results. So here we go then, your classified countdown, starting with the J.R. Cleater Cup. Newton Aycliffe 1, Borough Rangers 1. Newton Aycliffe win 4-3 on penalties. Pre-season friendlies. Dunstan UTS 1, Gateshead 1. Match abandoned at half-time. Blyth Spartans 0, Hartlepool United 0. Darlington 3, Marske United 2. Guiseley 1, Spennymoor Town 0. South Shields 1, Harrogate Town 6. Morpeth Town 0, Ashington 0. Stockton Town 0, Gisborough Town 1. Consett 5, Silsden 0. Hebburn Town 3, Hordern CW 0. Willington 0, Crook Town 5. Match abandoned at half-time. Carlisle City 1, Brighton and Crawcrook Albion 1. Stocksbridge Park Steels 0, Redcar Athletic 7. Bishop Auckland 0, Whitby Town 4. Dunbar United 4, Newcastle Benfield 3. Prudhoe Youth 2, Wickham 1. Newcastle Blue Star 2, West Allotment Celtic 4. Whitley Bay 1, Workington 6. North Shields 5, Alnwick Town 0. Greystone 1, Penrith 4. Heaton Stannington 2, Birtley Town 1. West Auckland Town 10, West Auckland Town Reserves 0. Northallerton Town 5, Richmond Town 2. Towlaw Town 3, Chesterley Street United 0. Seaham Red Star 1, Redcar Town 1. Durham Corinthians 2, Easington Colliery 4. Kidsgrove Athletic 6, Billingham Town 1. Norton and Stockton Ancients 3, Billingham Synthonia 3. Barnard Castle 1, Esh Winning 1. Percymain 1, Jarrow 5. Hetton Town 1, Sunderland West End 5. FC Hartlepool 4, Darlington United 2. Darlington Railway Athletic 0, Thornaby 4. Fishburn Park 3, Yarman Eaglescliff 5. And finally Great Park 0, Durham City 4. So just a week to go until the start of the EBAC League season. Most of these other sides not playing in the Northern League, of course, will still have another 1 or in some cases 2 weeks of friendly matches to come. A couple of standout results there as usual. One that really stands out for me is an excellent 7-0 away win for Redcar Athletic, who are my title favourites for the EBAC Division 1 title, winning away at Pitchingham Northern League side, Northern Premier League side, Stocksbridge Park Steels 7-0. In terms of the teams that we're playing early on in the season ourselves, Carlisle City there doing slightly better than us against Brighton and Crawcrook Albion. Of course, we went down 3-5 5-3 at home, sorry, 6-3 at home to the First Division side in midweek last week. Carlisle City there coming back from behind in that game to earn a draw. Newcastle Benfield going down 4-3 in Scotland against Dunbar United. Dunbar United have just been promoted, incidentally, to the East of Scotland League Premier Division, which is the second level of non-league football in Scotland. So the equivalent of Step 2, Conference North, you would call it in England. Although the standard probably isn't quite as high, but nonetheless, that's a creditable result there for Newcastle Benfield. And our FA Cup opponents producing what many would say is a good result, although they were playing against First Division opponents, Newcastle Blue Star. Blue Star are most people's tips to win the Division 2 title. So, you know, strong performances from the teams that we're going to be facing early in the season. Our next opponents after that are Whitley Bay, who didn't have the best of weekends. They went down there 6-1 at home to Workington. Okay, turning our attention now to the next pre-season friendly. That takes place on Wednesday night. Just confirmation that is Wednesday and not Tuesday. It's at the 4G surface, of course, at Stockton Towns Ground at the Map Group Stadium. That game kicks off at 7:45 on Wednesday. Admission prices are £5 for adults, £3 for concessions and £1 for under 16s. Your final chance to see Dave Dixon and Callum Brown's charges in action before the season starts on Saturday. Turning our attention now to Saturday's 2-2 draw with Washington. The match was switched at the last minute to the Washington Hub, the 4G service. As a result, Ben Riding was rested from the game because of his injury. It was decided not to risk him on the 4G surface, so our trialist centre half continued in the back, and we had returning to the side Thomas Bott for only his second start of pre-season, and finally making his debut, or should I say his second debut for the club, having previously been here over 10 years ago, was Davy Gordon at left back. So a stronger side than in recent weeks, although obviously we were still without Ben Riding and without Ryan Gooch, who's currently on holiday. Also making his debut for the season in the match was Hassan Younis in the second half, and that means that every one of the 22 signed players have now made an appearance, apart from goalkeeper James Hopkinson, who continues to be on holiday. So RCA had the better of most of the first half and deservedly went ahead after a great mazy run from Niall Crosby. Saw him taken down by the goalkeeper as he was rounding the keeper, and the referee pointed to the spot, and Jackson Ward comfortably completed the penalty kick to put RCA 1-0 up for his second goal of the season. And then a couple of minutes before half-time, RCA deservedly extended their lead. Great work on the right from Alex Phil with the assist, feeding Jackson Ward, and he made no mistake to score his third goal of pre-season. A nice start for the diminutive striker. RCA should have gone into the break then 2-up, but unfortunately switched off before the interval, allowing Washington to force a penalty of their own, which was converted by Aaron Jewell. So half-time 2-1. The second half saw a lot of changes made. Dave Dixon hoping to make decisions about his remaining trialists. He has not so far made decisions to sign any of the players, but there is one of the players that has so far played in 4 of the pre-season games that I understand is still in play, and a decision about that player, who, as I said, has already made 4 appearances either from the bench or starting games, and in fact has scored a goal for the club. He has yet to make a final decision on that particular player. I think the other trialists are unlikely to be signing at this stage. Washington drew level about 10 minutes into the second half, and the game then drifted into a bit of a stalemate. No real clear-cut chances. There was one half chance where Matty Wilkinson made a good save, and at the other end one of the trialists was clean through on goal, just didn't quite have the pace to escape from his marker. So in the end, probably on the balance of play and with the disjointed approach in the second half with a lot of changes, draw was just about the right result for a Washington side who, it has to be said, looked a lot improved from last season and have had some decent results in their own pre-season programme. Turning our attention now to the reserves, who were back in action at the Sunderland LGV Park. They took on Gosforth Bohemians reserves from the Northern Alliance League. It was the first match in sole charge of the reserve team for reserve boss Dom Jones after the departure earlier in the week of John Bernickel. And it was very much a case of a reset for the reserve team after some problems in the camp following some heavy defeats. It was mission achieved, although not result achieved, as the reserves did go down to a 3-1 reverse, but gave a much improved performance. After falling behind early on, they dominated most of the first half, and then duly equalised about 10 minutes into the second half through Lewis King. At that point, they were well worthy of their equaliser. However, a lot of changes were then made by both sides, which again made the game very disjointed, as you often get in pre-season games. Gosforth then did deservedly go ahead and score a third. There were chances for RCA to get back into the match, but they didn't quite manage it. So the final score of 3-1, and obviously that is an improvement from recent performances, but it was more about the attitude of the team and the spirit in the camp. It was more important to boss Dom Jones, and it does seem that the reset of the reserve team has been successful, and hopefully they will now go on to better things ahead of the opening Wearside League season. We will be back on Thursday with our next edition of RCA TV News, when we'll be giving a report on that trip to Stockton Town on Wednesday night, and then we'll have a major bulletin on Friday ahead of the big kickoff on Saturday against Newcastle Benfield at the Sunderland LGV Park, kickoff 3 o'clock. But for now, you are up to date.